None of us wants to feel used by our friends, and we certainly don't want to use other people. But how can we avoid situations like this? Aristotle actually has some surprisingly concrete advice to give us about this. Now, the first place to look is in the Nicomachean Ethics, where Aristotle talks about friendship. And he says there are three minimal conditions that we have to meet in order for an acquaintance to be a true friend. The first one is that there's got to be some awareness of the relationship. I'm sorry, but you cannot be friends with somebody who's famous on YouTube and doesn't even know that you exist. The second thing is that the friendship has got to be reciprocated. If I'm constantly doing things for other people and they're never doing anything for me, we're not even meeting the basic conditions of friendship. But the third condition, and this is the really important one for our sake, is that friendship has to involve loving the good of the other person. You can tell when this isn't the case, right? Because something good happens for somebody that you know and you just feel jealous, or you just think like, I wish that didn't happen for them. That is not a hallmark of true friendship. Instead, when something good happens for people that you know and you think like, good for them, like I'm just excited for their sake, or you even try to bring about good things just because it would be good for them, now you're in the territory of friendship. So here's the crucial question. How can you be a good friend without using somebody? Aristotle says it all comes down to the way in which you respect the good of the other person. And he's not shy about saying that there are just different kinds of friendships we engage in. One kind of friendship, and a very basic level of friendship, is just what he calls a friendship of utility. This is where we recognize that I have needs, my friend has needs, and we can help each other meet those needs. Maybe I arrange to meet somebody for a study group every day. Or maybe I have somebody who comes in and does the cooking for me because I'm very elderly, right? These are friendships of utility. We are using each other, but we're not merely using each other. And that's where Aristotle draws the line. We still care about the good of the other person, and we can respect that even as we recognize that there's utility that we're both getting out of the friendship. Now, if a friendship stays in that mode, you can be friends of utility with somebody, and that's fine. You can respect them. But Aristotle thinks there's a couple other levels that you can get to in friendship. The second type of friendship he outlines is friendships of pleasure. These, he says, often occur between younger people who are just attracted to something about the people that they hang out with. They're funny or they're enjoyable. They like to go to parties together or watch movies. He says there's nothing wrong with this either. Again, as long as you're keeping in mind the good of the other person, respecting that good, there's nothing wrong with, having fun with a group of people. Now, the third kind of friendship, and for Aristotle, this kind of friendship is incredibly rare. He calls it true friendship or perfect friendship, is friendship where the people care primarily about the good of the other person, and only in a secondary sense about the utility that they get from the friendship or even the pleasure. Now, why is this so rare? Well, for Aristotle, in order to be true friends, you not only have to care about the good of the other person, but you have to know them intimately in a way that allows for you to help them grow in virtue. So this kind of friendship is the sort of thing that you might have with somebody that you've known for many, many years. You've shared a lot of experiences with. And crucially for Aristotle, you've got to be at the same level of moral growth. You've got to share some of the same virtues. Now, in a case like that, if you really care about the good of the other person, and if it's reciprocal, you both care about it with each other, you can achieve what Aristotle calls true or real friendship. Now, it's rare, but it doesn't mean that you can't have 3 or 4 or 5 or even 6 of these kinds of friends. And for Aristotle, these are incredibly important to cultivate, not only because they can help us grow as people, but because they partly constitute what it is that we're looking for in a good life. Our friends are, in a real sense for Aristotle, part of our happiness.